Welcome back to Global Monetary Watch. Today is July 26, and in this update we're taking a close, fact-based look at an issue that continues to affect many followers of the Iraqi dinar. Rather than focusing on rumors or dramatic claims, this discussion examines the broader financial developments taking place inside Iraq and explains why understanding the full context is far more important than reacting to isolated headlines. Many people follow daily IQD updates, but not everyone pays equal attention to the economic and institutional changes happening behind the scenes. Those larger developments often provide a clearer picture than speculation circulating across social media or online discussion groups. One of the biggest challenges for anyone following the Iraqi dinar is separating verified information from assumptions. Financial markets are influenced by many interconnected factors, and currencies are no exception. Looking only at exchange rate discussions without understanding monetary policy, banking reforms, government decisions, and international cooperation can create an incomplete picture. Iraq's financial system is undergoing gradual changes, and those developments deserve careful attention. Instead of asking only whether something will happen, a more useful question is whether the underlying economic conditions support long-term stability. That approach encourages informed analysis instead of emotional reactions driven by headlines or internet speculation. To understand today's environment, it is important to recognize Iraq's position in the global economy. Iraq is one of the world's major oil-producing nations and a member of OPEC, giving energy exports a central role in government revenue and monetary policy. Because of this dependence, the country's financial health is influenced not only by domestic policies but also by global oil demand, geopolitical events, and international economic conditions. The Central Bank of Iraq operates within this larger framework while balancing internal priorities with international expectations. Looking at these relationships together provides a more complete understanding of why financial reforms often move gradually rather than through sudden, dramatic shifts. The Central Bank of Iraq remains one of the most important institutions influencing the country's monetary direction. Its responsibility extends far beyond maintaining an official exchange rate. The bank oversees monetary stability, banking supervision, foreign currency management, and financial sector reforms designed to strengthen confidence in Iraq's economy. Every policy announcement, regulatory adjustment, or operational decision reflects broader objectives rather than short-term reactions. Observers often focus on a single headline, but central banks typically make decisions after considering inflation, banking stability, foreign reserves, and international financial obligations. Viewing these policies as part of a larger strategy helps explain why many developments unfold step by step instead of overnight. International organizations have also played an important role in Iraq's financial modernization efforts. Institutions such as the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank have consistently encouraged stronger banking standards, greater transparency, improved anti-money laundering measures, and enhanced financial oversight. At the same time, Iraq must balance those recommendations with domestic priorities, political realities, and the needs of its own financial institutions. This combination of international expectations and local decision-making creates a complex environment where reforms require coordination across multiple sectors. Understanding this balance helps explain why progress often appears gradual even when significant structural work is taking place behind the scenes. Another important area receiving considerable attention is Iraq's banking infrastructure. For many years, large volumes of foreign currency transactions occurred outside formal banking channels through exchange houses and informal markets. This created differences between official and street exchange rates while making oversight more difficult. In response, Iraqi authorities have continued working toward a more transparent banking system that relies on internationally recognized compliance standards. These efforts include strengthening oversight, improving reporting procedures, and encouraging financial institutions to operate according to globally accepted practices. Although these reforms may not generate dramatic headlines, they represent meaningful changes within Iraq's broader financial framework. Recent regulatory measures have reflected this continuing modernization process. Banks that do not satisfy compliance requirements have faced restrictions affecting their participation in official dollar transactions, reinforcing the importance of meeting international standards. These actions are generally viewed as part of a wider effort to improve accountability and strengthen confidence in Iraq's financial institutions. While such reforms may seem technical, they contribute to building a more resilient banking environment capable of supporting future economic development. For anyone following the Iraqi dinar, understanding these institutional changes provides valuable context and demonstrates that meaningful financial progress often begins with structural improvements rather than attention-grabbing announcements. As Iraq continues modernizing its financial system, another critical factor remains at the center of every discussion about the country's currency, oil. Iraq's economy relies heavily on revenue generated through crude oil exports, making global energy markets a major influence on government finances and monetary stability. When oil prices remain favorable, the country generally benefits from stronger foreign currency reserves, giving policymakers additional flexibility when managing public spending and financial priorities. Conversely, periods of weaker oil prices can place pressure on government budgets and reduce available financial resources. This close relationship between energy markets and economic performance is one of the most important realities to understand when following developments surrounding the Iraqi dinar. Global energy markets themselves are constantly changing. Decisions made by OPEC, shifts in worldwide demand, geopolitical tensions, and economic conditions across major economies all influence the price of oil. Since Iraq's fiscal position depends significantly on these revenues, changes in international oil markets naturally affect the country's financial outlook. Strong reserve levels provide greater confidence in the central bank's ability to maintain monetary stability, while weaker conditions require more cautious management. These are not isolated events but interconnected economic forces that shape Iraq's broader financial environment and help explain why policymakers closely monitor both domestic reforms and international developments simultaneously. Alongside oil revenue, Iraq has been working toward a broader economic transformation designed to reduce dependence on a single source of national income. Government initiatives have focused on encouraging private sector growth, attracting foreign investment, improving infrastructure, expanding non-oil industries, and creating a more diversified economy. These reforms are intended to strengthen long-term economic resilience rather than produce immediate results. While such projects rarely generate the same level of attention as exchange rate discussions, they are considered important building blocks for sustainable economic development. A stronger and more diversified economy generally creates a healthier foundation for any nation's financial system. Economic reforms are rarely completed quickly, particularly in countries undertaking significant institutional modernization. History shows that lasting improvements in currency stability are typically supported by stronger fiscal management, reliable banking systems, improved governance, and growing investor confidence. These developments usually occur over time through consistent policy implementation rather than dramatic overnight announcements. For observers following Iraq's financial progress, this broader historical perspective provides valuable context. Looking beyond short-term headlines allows viewers to better understand why structural reforms often receive greater attention from economists than speculation surrounding rapid monetary changes. The international financial environment also plays an important role in shaping Iraq's monetary landscape. Global interest rate policies, particularly those of the United States Federal Reserve, influence the strength of the US dollar and affect financial conditions around the world. Because Iraq's monetary framework is closely connected to the dollar, broader movements in global currency markets can influence domestic financial management. Investor confidence in emerging economies, worldwide capital flows, and international economic conditions all contribute to the backdrop against which Iraq continues implementing its reforms. These external factors interact with domestic policies in ways that cannot be ignored when evaluating the country's financial direction. One common misunderstanding within online discussions is the belief that a single announcement or isolated event can determine the future direction of Iraq's currency. In reality, monetary developments depend on the interaction of numerous factors, including banking modernization, fiscal discipline, political stability, foreign currency reserves, regulatory compliance, and international economic conditions. None of these elements operate independently. Instead, they work together to shape the environment in which monetary policy is implemented. Viewing only one piece of the puzzle while ignoring the broader framework often leads to inaccurate conclusions and unrealistic expectations regarding financial developments. Perhaps the most important lesson for anyone following Iraqi Dinar news is the importance of relying on verified information instead of assumptions. Online rumors, unofficial timelines, and unsupported claims frequently spread much faster than confirmed economic data. Responsible analysis requires distinguishing between documented facts, reasonable interpretations, and pure speculation. Reports issued by the Central Bank of Iraq, official government institutions, and internationally recognized financial organizations provide a far stronger foundation for understanding ongoing reforms than anonymous online sources. Maintaining this disciplined approach helps create a more balanced understanding of Iraq's evolving financial landscape while avoiding unnecessary confusion caused by unsupported claims. At the heart of every discussion surrounding the Iraqi dinar is one simple principle. Meaningful financial developments are rarely driven by rumors. They are usually the result of coordinated policy decisions, institutional reforms, economic performance, and careful planning. Iraq's monetary authorities continue working within a framework that involves domestic priorities while also meeting internationally recognized financial standards. Observing these efforts through an objective lens provides a clearer understanding of the country's financial direction. Rather than focusing on dramatic claims that promise immediate outcomes, it is more productive to examine the measurable reforms that continue taking place across Iraq's banking and economic sectors. Another important point often overlooked is the difference between confirmed developments and personal interpretation. Official announcements may describe banking reforms, regulatory updates, or broader economic initiatives, but the significance of those events can be interpreted differently by various commentators. This is why viewers should always distinguish between documented facts and individual opinions. Understanding the source of information is just as important as understanding the information itself. Reliable financial analysis depends on verified evidence rather than assumptions, allowing observers to build conclusions based on official developments instead of speculation that may spread quickly across online communities. The modernization of Iraq's banking system continues to receive attention because it supports many other aspects of economic reform. Improvements in compliance standards, digital banking services, financial supervision, and transparency are intended to strengthen confidence in the country's financial institutions. These measures also help improve cooperation with international financial systems and create a more efficient banking environment. Although such reforms may appear technical, they represent practical steps toward building stronger financial infrastructure. Stable institutions often provide the foundation necessary for long-term economic growth, regardless of the day-to-day discussions surrounding currency markets. Political stability also remains an important component of Iraq's broader economic progress. Government policy, legislative cooperation, security conditions, and administrative reforms all influence the pace at which financial initiatives move forward. Economic planning becomes more effective when institutions operate within a predictable environment. While challenges remain, ongoing efforts to strengthen governance and improve administrative processes are frequently highlighted by observers monitoring Iraq's reform agenda. These developments illustrate that economic progress is influenced by a wide range of factors extending far beyond exchange rate discussions alone. International relationships continue to play a meaningful role in Iraq's financial outlook as well. Cooperation with global institutions, foreign investors, regional partners, and multinational organizations contributes to economic development and financial integration. These partnerships often encourage higher standards of transparency, improved regulatory practices, and stronger financial oversight. Such cooperation does not guarantee immediate changes, but it reflects Iraq's continuing efforts to align portions of its financial system with internationally recognized practices. Understanding these relationships helps explain why reforms are often interconnected with broader economic and diplomatic objectives. For anyone following Iraqi Dinar news, maintaining realistic expectations is essential. Financial systems rarely change overnight, particularly when reforms involve multiple government agencies, banking institutions, regulatory authorities, and international partners. Significant policy adjustments generally require planning, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation before their full effects become visible. Looking only for dramatic announcements may cause observers to overlook the gradual improvements that often shape long-term economic progress. Patience, combined with careful attention to verified information, provides a more balanced perspective than reacting to every rumor that appears online. One of the most common mistakes made by some observers is allowing emotion to replace analysis. Exciting headlines, bold predictions, and unsupported timelines can easily attract attention, but responsible reporting depends on evidence rather than excitement. Reviewing official statements, understanding economic indicators, and considering multiple factors together offers a much stronger foundation for evaluating developments. This disciplined approach helps separate genuine progress from speculation while encouraging a more informed understanding of Iraq's financial landscape. The goal is not to dismiss important news but to evaluate every update within its proper economic context. As Iraq continues implementing financial reforms, the overall picture remains one of gradual modernization rather than sudden transformation. Banking improvements, regulatory compliance, economic diversification, oil revenue management, and international cooperation all contribute to a broader process that continues evolving over time. These developments deserve attention because they represent documented policy efforts rather than unverified claims. At the same time, it is equally important to recognize that the timing and impact of future monetary decisions remain the responsibility of Iraq's official institutions, not online speculation or unofficial commentary. The key takeaway from today's discussion is that understanding the Iraqi dinar requires looking beyond individual headlines. A complete picture includes the work of the Central Bank of Iraq, broader government reforms, developments within the banking sector, global economic conditions, energy markets, and international financial relationships. Each of these elements contributes to Iraq's overall financial environment, and none should be evaluated in isolation. Careful analysis requires patience, context, and a willingness to distinguish between confirmed information and unsupported assumptions. That concludes today's update from Global Monetary Watch. We appreciate you spending your time with us as we continue bringing fact-based coverage focused on official developments and documented financial news. If you found this analysis helpful, consider subscribing to Global Monetary Watch and turning on notifications so you never miss our latest updates. Thank you for watching. Stay informed, continue following verified information, and as always, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon.